Welcome home, Orlando City. On this edition of Orlando Sentinel Snapshot, we focus on the Lions as they enter the 2017 MLS season in a brand new stadium. I'm Rich Pope from the Orlando Sentinel, reporting from where all the action happens. From the locker room to the best seat in the house, columnist Mike Bianchi explores every nook and cranny of the Lions' new home. Then, City players talk about what the stadium, the fans, and the community means to them. If you've been to a match before, you've certainly heard their cheers. The Orlando City supporter groups take team pride to the next level. And lace up your boots as soccer beat writer Alicia Delgallo highlights some of the Lions' new players and says goodbye to those that are no longer with us. Then, we find out how this new urban stadium impacts parking and realize tailgating as you know it may be a thing of the past. And we talk to the stadium's closest neighbors to see how they feel about 25,000 fans descending on their neighborhood. Finally, Mayor Dyer outlines how the new stadium is helping transform downtown Orlando. The excitement of walking into a new stadium, your team's new stadium for the first time, is a feeling that's hard to explain. There's nothing quite like it. And there's certainly nothing like experiencing the team's new home through the eyes of Orlando Sentinel columnist Mike Bianchi.
Here we are in Orlando City's new locker room, the home locker room. Obviously beautiful, brand new, spacious. Players love it. If you'll notice, they have the etchings of a lion inside each locker. As the players leave the locker room to go to the field, down the hallway here, or headed to the tunnel to the field, they have a room just for their shoes. Sounds like my ex-wife, for crying out loud. Right here is the march that the players will make from the locker room up that way onto the field. And yes, I think this might be the beginning. This is what the players are saying. New home, new season, new coach, new grass. Look at that grass. And they're saying maybe this could be a championship season for the Orlando City Lions. The wall right there, the wall of the supporters section. Imagine what that's going to be like with those supporters doing their chants, waving their flags. It's going to be an unbelievable atmosphere. You can sit on the block seating if you want, but most of the supporter groups are standing throughout the game. You even have standing cup holders here. Vamos, vamos Orlando, you know that guy. Here we are in the West Premium Club, the hoity-toity section, if you will. The most important part of any club level of any new stadium is the bar. Nothing like watching a beautiful game with a Heineken. I mean, this is a beautiful panoramic view of the stadium out here. 25,500 seats in this stadium. I'll tell you what, even the worst seat in the house, way up in the end zones, looks like it's a pretty good seat. I mean, you're so close to the field. I'll tell you some seats I'd like to have. The scoreboard deck, about 60 seats underneath the scoreboard. Hey, ref, that was offside. Come on, make the call. There you have it, the tour of the new stadium. Cannot wait to see it filled up on Sunday. I'll see you there.
Everywhere here is Orlando City. Everything's purple. The attendance numbers that we've had throughout the years are pretty remarkable.
I think it's incredible that they've managed to sell 18,000 season tickets. The teams with the best support usually have the best home field advantages. And I think we can really make it a fortress for ourselves.
Often referred to as the 12th man for Orlando City, two recognized supporter groups, Ruckus and the Iron Lion Firm, bring passion, excitement, and camaraderie to the stands with an exciting display called a TIFO.
TIFO is a coordinated display, usually put on by the fans. Generally, it means a large banner that's going to unfurl over the crowd.
It can also be interactive things. We depicted a soccer pitch with cards and then had blow-up heads of the players appear to score a goal.
We did a tribute to our goalkeeper, Joe Bendick, because we thought he'd put on an excellent performance throughout the season. It's pretty rare that we would do something specific to a player. That one was a little personal for me because I was inspired by a TV show and implemented that design into our tribute. We use a lot of pop culture references a lot of times. We've had movie references that have come out and different tifos we've done.
It could be something as small as a couple people make it 5 foot by 5 foot, and it could be 500 feet by 100 feet.
And then it's just working with each other on knowing what the stadium is and how much materials we need, and getting people to actually pull it off on game day.
So we did a piece called The Trinity in our first season in MLS. We wanted to honor our past in that piece, also support what we have in the present, and look forward to the future as well.
Nobody's paid to do this. It's all on our free time outside of our job.
It's a collaborative effort to come up with our design.
We've had smaller projects where it might be a dozen people. The larger projects we've had over 100 people contribute.
And then the next real important piece is actually taking that design and making it something workable.
Obviously, it's supposed to be a surprise at the game first and foremost, to the other fans, to the players themselves.
There aren't a lot of groups of fans that are spending hundreds of hours spending their own money creating a display that's a tribute. Literally a tribute, a go win for the team that you're supporting. And so the element of surprise, the pride that comes in having the players look up and see, oh wow, that's an amazing design, that's really inspirational. I'm gonna give it my all, even more than I was before. That's the goal of this effort.
You have to appreciate the wall and how steep that is and how unique it is.
I think that section's going to be extremely loud.
In Camping World Stadium, you could just see like this sea of purple. And then when you're behind it, it's just kind of like, just you feel it, always there, always there. In the new stadium, I think it'll be cool because it'll just look like more of a wall.
Coming off a tumultuous season that fell short of expectations, Orlando City takes aim at the season with renewed focus. Soccer beat writer Alicia Delgallo takes a look at some of the new players who will have key roles as the team moves forward with head coach Jason Kreis in his first full season with the Lions.
Orlando City didn't get an extreme makeover this offseason, but things will look a bit different when the team takes the field on March 5th. Here are some of the new guys you should know. Giles Barnes, the newest addition to the squad. Orlando City traded Breck Shea to Vancouver for Barnes a week before the season opener. Barnes is a Jamaican national team striker who can also play as an attacking midfielder. Barnes played 4.5 years with the Houston Dynamo before he was traded to the Whitecaps last July. He reportedly made more than $700,000 last year, so he's expected to be an instant contributor for Orlando City. Will Johnson. He's a midfielder with 10 years of MLS experience and played under Orlando City head coach Jason Kreis at Real Salt Lake. He won his first MLS Cup there in 2009, another with the Portland Timbers in 2015, and came close to nabbing a third last season with Toronto. But the Reds lost the 2016 MLS Cup to Seattle. Johnson has fractured both legs in the last 3 years, but said he feels better than ever. Expect to see him in the starting lineup as a box-to-box central midfielder. It's no secret Orlando City's backline and defense in general was a weak spot last year, so that's where most of the changes can be seen. Jonathan Spector. Orlando City searched at length for a quality center back. The Lions finally landed on this former U.S. men's national team defender. He played for years with English championship side Birmingham City. He also began his career in 2003 with a Premier League team you may have heard of, Manchester United. He can play every position on the back line, but Orlando City will use him at center back. Other newcomers you could see regularly include defenders Victor PC Euro and Donny Toya. In order for new players to be brought in, others had to be let go. Fans mourned Bowden's departure. They had a similar reaction to Julio Baptista's release. The Beast will be remembered for scoring late in games after coming off the bench. David Mateos, Brian Roches, and Devron Garcia also will not be factored into the lineup this season, according to Orlando City coach Jason Kreis. All three remain on the roster for now. But the biggest names to leave were Kevin Molino and most recently, Breck Shea, both fan favorites. Molino was an Orlando City original and one of the team's most dangerous attacking pieces. Look for Barnes, Carlos Rivas, Kaká, and Matias Perez Garcia to help fill the void in a reworked lineup.
When we were in Salt Lake, he used to play a lot, and he was good, so competitive, and when he would lose, you know, he'd go ballistic, just like he was a player. He'd almost forget he was the coach.
I think he's very meticulous in everything he does because he's very serious and very competitive.
When he first came here, he told me why did I score so many goals on New York when I played against him.
I guess the 2-mile run on a day off.
You should have seen the faces on all of us. I mean, we were in complete shock.
We had to run around all Lake Sullivan.
We were kind of expecting to come in and do like a little stretch, a little ice bath, but he definitely got us.
One thing's for sure, Orlando City fans love the tailgate. The location of the stadium may bring some challenges, but fans say they're ready to change their pregame parties to fit their new surroundings. They built it. And they came. And as more came, it became evident it wasn't about where they played, just that they played. But now, to have a home of their own,
It's not this bowl or that bowl, it's Orlando City Stadium.
for fans, this is special.
The fact that we finally have a place to call our own
where we're going to hear the crowd noise and really have a home field advantage
is unreal.
It kind of shows that we're on our way to prominence in the MLS.
With this new home comes some adjustment in how fans tailgate and get to the game. The main reason the new stadium relies on off-site parking. There are some lots adjacent to the stadium for season ticket holders, but for the majority of general parking, it'll take place back towards downtown.
It's only 3 to 4 blocks actually from the very center of downtown. And we like that approach because it gives people an opportunity to matriculate as pedestrians to walk through downtown and notice new restaurants and other eateries, perhaps have a drink or two while they're doing it before they even get to the match.
It's not a new concept. Typically a home downtown has limited parking, relies on getting around on foot, bike, and using public transportation. So why should this be any different? This is why it's different. One thing a stay at Camping World Stadium proved is that the fans love to tailgate.
Tailgating is pretty important. It hypes you up, gets you excited, kind of sets the tone.
But in this new home, they're trading grassy fields for side street.
I don't know how the garages are going to like us having barbecues in the middle of the garage.
But I had to ask, when fans come, how are they going to get here?
I think for us, we're going to probably try these downtown garages and just walk.
And if it does run, then I can take the train in or maybe getting a ride in with somebody too.
Our supporter groups are working very hard to do parking in a way that's going to be better, whether we all park at one spot and then march down to the stadium.
Regardless of how it happens, what it all seems to come down to is just get downtown.
In the new stadium where it's at is so important, just based on the idea that tailgating right downtown and being able to walk right back over is awesome.
We're going to try to head down right to the stadium and enjoy the game from there.
I know that the stadium is now doing a thing for supporters to kind of have a party inside a few hours prior to the game.
Ultimately, for the fans of Orlando City, one thing has remained the same.
We'll make it happen one way or the other.
And that about says it all.
It just makes the game a lot cleaner, a lot faster. When the ball rolls on turf, it bounces. There's what we call a turf bounce.
It's lighter on your body, and your feet don't get stuck in the ground as much as it does on turf.
When you play on turf, you definitely feel your sore muscles for a couple of extra days.
When you grew up playing on grass, it's easier to dive on.
We touched base with the stadium's closest neighbors to see how they feel about 25,000 fans descending on their neighborhood.
As soon as the door opens at J. Henry's Barbershop in Paramore, you can't help but join the conversation.
How you been doing? Something to think about, right?
But the big topic lately
There's been a buzz, everybody's talking about it.
is about what's right outside the door.
I had mixed feelings with soccer stadium due to the fact that I've been in this area for so long.
More than 20 years to be exact.
People always remember how you treated them. They may forget how you cut their hair, but they never forget how you treated them.
He says the city has treated his business fairly so far.
And I hope that the city of Orlando continue to remember the small business owners that held the community together for so many years.
And he's optimistic about the future.
If we allow ourselves to embrace the change that is taking place and be a part of the change, people that didn't have the opportunity to work will have that opportunity. Even if it's only just parking cars, at least you can bring a couple of dollars home that you didn't have. Keep hope alive for them, that they may never ever own a soccer stadium, but they can own a barbershop or a restaurant.
Or run a church like the Faith Deliverance Temple, which is even closer to the new stadium.
I've been here since day one. We bought the property, so I know what it's been like in and out.
And right now, the out sounds like this. And the in.
It's got to be really loud for it to distract us.
The city offered to buy the church before construction even started, but
the offer for the property was not sufficient for us to move with.
So for now, these prayers and praises are staying put, unless
I told him in the beginning, God, wherever you lead, I'll follow. We'll follow. If something comes up that's good enough to work with, we'll work with it. When with God, all things are possible. That's it.
Mayor Buddy Dyer explains what the team means to Orlando and how the new stadium is helping to transform downtown. Our Kayla O'Brien talked with the mayor.
What do you think it means to the city to have this new stadium soccer specific? Well, it so complements everything else that we have in the sports, entertainment, and arts corridor. So you have Camping World Stadium, then you'll have the soccer stadium, you have the Amway Center and the Performing Arts Center. There's really not anything that the world could bring us that we could not host in one of those buildings.
So even if you don't love soccer, people love to tailgate for games. Is it going to be different with the new stadium?
The proximity to downtown and some of the parking here will allow soccer fans, our Orlando City fans, to either tailgate at their cars traditionally, or it's going to be so easy to be in any of the bars or restaurants downtown and then make the march to the game.
Yeah, and speaking of the unique features, you have some Pulse-related seats. Can you talk about that a little bit?
There are 49 seats that were installed, 7 rows of 7, to represent those who lost their lives during the Pulse tragedy, and they are rainbow colored, and they're on the west side of the stadium.
Now, you were there for the first game after Pulse happened, and there was a moment of silence. How was that to be there?
A community comes together around tragedy. I think it's the first time in the history of MLS they've stopped the game during the course of the game to have a moment of silence or a moment of mourning, and they did that in the 49th minute of the game.
What's your favorite part, or have you seen it yet? Have you been there?
I have seen it. I have not seen it at night, but I know my favorite part is going to be the view of the downtown skyline. If you're in the west stands looking to the east, I've been in those stands, but it's been during the daytime, and it's just extraordinary.
Thanks for exploring Orlando City in their new stadium with Orlando Sentinel Snapshot. I'm Rich Pope. Until next time, you can get all your Orlando City news at orlandosentinel.com/soccer. Join us next month as Orlando Sentinel Snapshot turns the focus on startups. We explore what it takes to start and grow a company in Central Florida.